Hi folks, this is Lone Thought Nothing's Poetry Vlog Episode 2. In the first episode we covered one of my other poems called The Wall, and ideally these are poems that I've written that I have turned into music using programs such as Suno. In this one we're going to be covering one called Drown, and this one was one I could find the earliest writings or earliest, iterations of it was from 2016. And on an old flash drive. So full disclaimer on this one, while I do have it as a poem, just brief transparency here, it has made many changes since its writing here. So for this one I will be reading from my phone, as in the song form it has been updated substantially. Of some brief background with this one was that during my time policing, for me I found it very difficult to balance that work-life balance and primarily the life side of it with trying to see my family, with trying to just do things I wanted to do, attempting to juggle a relationship during it. And there were times that at my girlfriend at the time and now wife, we had some moments where things were just kind of rough. We wouldn't see each other too often. There were times I was on nights at one point in time when I was still policing, and we'd see each other 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day for a while, until I landed some days off. So there were moments that it was difficult. And that terminology of, staying afloat became a little more realistic to me at that point in time, because while it's just just kind of a funny phrase at some point, I managed to realize that it's a very realistic fear someone can have, is that if you feel like you aren't staying afloat, if you feel as though you're barely treading water, or in this case, if you feel as though you've gone beneath the surface. For me, it became a very difficult, I guess, in some way, battle with depression at that point in time, where I felt as though I was struggling to stay afloat. So a lot of the writing in this one, there's a lot of feeling in this one, a lot of emotion that in some way looking back on it now, I recognize, why I needed to vent in the way I did about it. One of the primary complications I had from it was when I lived 6 hours from a majority of my family, and there were situations where, like, I had family who were in poor health. I knew they were declining, but I could rarely ever get away. Work was far too demanding. And then it was that kind of bitter realization of when, unfortunately, family members would pass, then it becomes like almost like a legal obligation for employment to be like, hey, here's your bereavement time to go see, to pay your respects. But getting away, having time to get away for them, when they're still with us, is very difficult to do at times. And it's something I think all of us in some way take for granted. In regards to thinking there always will be tomorrow, there always will be next week, there always will be next month, and sometimes that's unfortunately not the case. So with that, we'll get into the poem here. Here we go. Drown. Pressure building, no end in sight. Daybreak to midnight, an endless fight. Drowning, sinking, can't break free. Balance lost, where should I be? Life is heavy, pulling down. Searching, screaming, will I drown? Families calling, distant and dying, while work demands, please believe I'm trying. Struggles cascade like falling sand. I grasp for control, it slips through my hands. Balance is a myth, can't you see? To appease one, another must concede. Caught in crossfire, no gain found. In this battle for time, I bleed out on the ground. Drowning, sinking underneath. Balance lost, where should I be? Life is heavy, dragging down. Hoping, praying, will I drown? Set aside the things I love, reaching can't touch stars above. Trade my joy for someone's gain, caught in routine, always the same. Expectations high, sacrifices deep. Promises broken, secrets to keep. Scars from stories others get to tell. Wounds that time won't heal so well. Precious missed moments I fight within, a record of regret to where I wish I could have been. Memories of loved ones etched in stone, a legacy of shame I've come to know. Things I've missed from life's demands, seeking the meaning, I just want to understand. Drowning, sinking, still can't breathe, balance lost, where should I be? Life is heavy, holding down, begging, pleading, will I drown? So with the poem being read, there were a few lines within it that I wanted to expand on a little bit further so I can explain my feelings regarding the situations. I will focus on the first verse. The family's calling, distant and dying, while work demands, please believe I'm trying. This one was recognizing that during my time with the employment, I recognized that my family, some of them were in declining health. I knew that, in some ways, time was limited for them, but I still had my obligations. I still had my responsibilities. It was a job that became a commitment, and one that while I was passionate about it, it felt as though you'd question what's it worth. It's a paycheck at the end of the day, and you can do that doing literally anything. But it was what I had at the time, and nothing else was a calling to me. So I stuck with it. But ultimately, while doing that, I would feel this immense sense of guilt that almost not almost guilt, but selfishness, feeling as though I'm doing what I want to do because it's what I'm pursuing. But when you let family essentially take the back burner, that's where the guilt part sets in. And it's not, I don't feel it's deserved, but it's a situation where you do feel that sense of guilt because you are letting people down around you, or at least that's what's perceived, that's how you feel. Balance is a myth, can't you see? To appease one, another must concede. Caught in crossfire, no gain found. In this battle for time, I bleed out on the ground. This one simply highlights the detail of the term battle for time. And while it was kind of metaphorical, I pictured it as if it was an actual battlefield. It was an actual war zone. And I'm in the middle of it. And within that crossfire, I'm trying to juggle my personal life. I'm trying to juggle my work life. I'm trying to juggle my relationships with my friends. I'm trying to juggle my relationships with my significant other. And being caught in the middle of all that, I felt I was lost. I felt I was losing that battle. Verse 3 was the set aside the things I love, reaching can't touch stars above. Trade my joy for someone's gain, caught in routine, always the same. When it came to priorities, mine rose last. Mine always got pushed all the way to the back because I had everything else that I needed to do. Everything else came first. And when I wasn't able to do the things that I found joy in, I struggled because I didn't have a release. It was always work and stress. And then when the one thing that I want to just do when I get off work is, if I wanted to write, if I wanted to play video games, if I wanted to do something like that, I couldn't because it was always that destructive loop of if I do this, then I take time away from something else. I get behind on the housework. I get behind on my sleep schedule. I wake up groggy. It's just a very bad cycle at that point. Expectations high, sacrifices deep, promises broken, secrets to keep, scars from stories others get to tell, wounds that time won't heal so well. This one primarily focused on recognizing how life is happening around me, and I wasn't involved in it. I couldn't tell you how many various invites or weddings, anniversaries, birthday parties, Christmases, Thanksgivings, holidays of any sort that I wasn't able to make it to because of the demands at the time. And then for the main one that really hurt, I will say, was there was at times family reunions, things like that I couldn't even make it to. And one of them was scars from stories others get to tell, wounds that time won't heal so well. Precious moments I fight within, a record of regret to where I wish I could have been. I would know those events were going on. I wasn't able to make it to them, but then I also would later see all of the uploaded pictures of we had such a great time, and I wasn't a part of it. I mean, it's no fault of anybody else's but my own, but it was just a situation of realizing that wow, in a different life I would have been there. I would have seen so and so and would have been able to catch up with them and tell them about how life is going, and the reality was that wasn't my reality. The last line that really struck hard for me, and this one was probably the most difficult, I think. When I put it in words though, and I could explain it, it spoke a lot of volume of what was going on. Memories of loved ones etched in stone, a legacy of shame I've come to know. Things I missed from life's demands, seeking the meaning I just want to understand. And this one was primarily focusing on my last memory of some family members being their funeral. Knowing that their health was in decline, or knowing that I could have seen them during the time period when they were still with us, and my last memory of them, and ultimately a very guilty one, is that I'm there and I see their names etched in that tombstone, and that's it. I won't dwell on those. I want to remember all the good times, obviously, but the last one that I have of them is that. It's all that regret of thinking that, there is always that next time. There's always that, and next year we'll catch up or we'll see one another, and it's a bitter reality that's not the case some days. And then the overall chorus as a whole: drowning, sinking, still can't breathe, balance lost, where should I be? Life is heavy, holding down, begging, pleading, will I drown? Everything that was discussed here, that culmination of just what feels like, I'm trying to swim up and there's just like a chain and an anchor around my neck just yanking me back down. And no matter how hard I would fight, no matter what I would do to try and stay afloat, I couldn't. And it became, I would say, a sense of depression. With that, while everything within this one is very morbid, I mean, I wasn't in a good place when I wrote this one. I'm able to admit that I wasn't doing well when I wrote this one, but I do feel that being able to write it down and to express these feelings in something that I can later turn into something as powerful as this is a healthy direction at the very least. I've always found deep meaning and reason in writing. I feel there is something behind it, where if you can take something that's up here and put it on a page or a program, whatever the case is, for one, it's in some way a sense of stress relief, because if you have something stuck in your head and it just rolls around and you build upon it and you write it down, it seems to like copy and paste it basically out of it, and you can feel as though you've now transferred that burden somewhere else. You've transferred that stress or debt or whatever you want to refer to it as, and you can reflect on it. You can relate to it. You can see how you've grown from it when it's in a journal. And in the event that you've grown or changed from it, you can recognize that. For me, that's what writing has always been about. I think it is unique to everybody. So as a final wrap up, thank you for coming back and sticking around for episode 2. I will do what I can to get episode 3 uploaded in the next week or so. Just kind of depends which one speaks to me the most, but they will be primarily focusing on the album structure, poems turned songs. Thank you. Come back for more. Balance is a myth, can't you see? To appease one, another must concede.